What's up guys, it's Jay from Vanguard Trucking. Today we are going to be going through the technique aerial. Let's get into it. So before you get started on your aerial, you are going to need a few things. You're going to need to be able to do a cartwheel. You're going to need to be able to do a one-handed cartwheel off your lead hand, a one-handed cartwheel off your rear hand. Once you've got that, you should be good to go. For our first drill, we are going to practice doing just a normal cartwheel. You can go straight into this with a one-handed cartwheel if you want to, or just move on to it later. But we're going to go into a normal cartwheel and we're going to do a slight jump first of all and see just how late we can put our hands down to start getting used to being in the air and giving us some air awareness. So when you're doing this, just set up exactly like you would do for a normal cartwheel. We'll talk about what we do with our upper body later on. But for now, just set up like you're going to do your normal cartwheel. When you're doing that, what I want you to start thinking about is starting to push off this lead leg just a little bit more and starting to kick your first leg back a little bit harder as well. And then just test yourself. This is just going to be a drill just to get your confidence up. See how late you can stall it before you put your hands down. Now it might start off with just a really short gap between leaving the ground and putting the hands down, but as you get more and more confident and used to just taking the impact on your hands there, you'll probably find you can leave it till quite late. Okay, so give this a few goes. Once you feel pretty happy with it, try it with the one hand. You can even do it with your rear hand over the top, but just play around with it, and then when you're ready, let's move on to the next drill. Drill number 2. So for this one, we're going to go a little bit lower and we're going to step away from the cartwheel for just a second, and we're going to go into a bunny hop. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to shortcut a lot of trial and error and hopefully get us used to being in the air without having to worry about crashing so much. So we're going to focus on learning the skill and getting a mini version of it that then we can then build into the full aerial technique. So to get started on this, just crouch down a second. When we're doing it, first of all we want to think about is getting our hands down and we're going to get our hips over our head. It should be fairly easy. We're just going to do it like this. And make sure you can land on your feet like that. Okay. Once we've done that, the next thing is to do that on one hand. Again, pretty easy. Just use your lead hand, the first one that's going to go down, and do the exact same motion over the top. Okay. Once you've got comfortable with that, what I want you to do is to try think of the same angles. So where our head needs to be facing, we're looking at the ground, but then try standing up just a little bit. Okay, so we're in sort of like a crouch stance here. And we're going to think about the same motion. So your foot is going to be going over your head a little bit. It can start lower, okay, but build it up once you're ready. But all we're effectively doing is the same drill, but it should feel really safe. We're going to do it without our hands. So we're just going over like this. Now, once you can do that, that's essentially how an aerial actually feels. So to progress from that, all we're going to do is to start to stand up a little bit higher and higher and higher, and then eventually you should be doing it from your stood up position. Drill number 3 is going to be doing the full aerial. Now we're actually going to talk about what our arms do a little bit on this as well, because when people first learn this and they're learning the side to side aerial or the karate aerial, trick aerial, whatever you want to call it, it's a little bit different. In fact, it's quite a lot different from the running aerial, and what you do with your arms is different as well. So we're going to first of all think about the body position we need to be in to even start the skill. So at the moment, as you can see, my hips are front facing. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to lean onto our back leg. If I'm doing the cartwheel or aerial this way, I'm going to start by leaning away from it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my furthest hand and I'm going to drop it down. You can think of it like a bicep pose. Okay. We're going to start with our lead elbow up. So you think of it being up to the sky. And then when we decide to launch the skill, We're gonna first, pay attention to my lead foot as well now. You're gonna first turn your foot to face the way you're about to go. Once you've done that, your lead elbow is gonna be coming over, and we're gonna start to bend the knee, and we're gonna think about getting our chest down towards that knee. At that same time, your elbow is driving behind, and the rear one is gonna be coming over the top, like this. So they're doing this shape. If you wanna get used to the feel of that, just practice it standing like that, and then when you go for the aerial, then you should have the muscle memory down. But practice this part where we're adding everything together, so you're doing your thing with your arms, and you're turning your lead foot away into that position, and then from here, we're gonna kick this first leg back. And then what you wanna think about is exactly what we did on the previous drill. The feeling of doing that no-handed bunny hop is going to be exactly how it feels when you do the aerial skill. So when you first are landing it, don't worry about having perfect straight legs or anything like that, or the inversion level. That can come on later through your repetitions. First of all, let's get it from the standing position, get used to the setup, and then add the two drills together. All right, so those are all the building blocks you need to be able to do the aerial. Now, as a bonus drill, what we're gonna cover is also a setup that I like to call the back step, whatever you wanna call it, but it can be used to gain you some extra momentum to go into the aerial that you can then use to start a combo or go into anything else that you might be doing out of it. The back step is gonna look a little bit like this. I'm gonna start from the side on position. That's the way I'm going. I'm going to start facing this way, and I'm going to put my left leg in front of me just a little. As soon as I've done that, I'm going to be pushing back. Okay. Let's see how that looks all together. So from here, this way. So there you have it, that is the skill aerial. It's a really, really easy trick to get down if you're using those drills. So practice it hard and you'll have it in no time, okay? If you are having any problems though, then just write us a comment below or drop us a message and we can get back to you with some extra tips and drills if you need it. All right, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the page as usual. And if you do get your aerial down, then tag us on Instagram. We'd love to check it out. But that is it, guys. We shall see you in the next video.